Alrighty, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It is TG. I am. Thank goodness it's Monday. Let's see now. Let's check it out. Make sure we have sound. And what else do we have? You see the euro up there. The euro up there? No, the Swiss. There it is. Well, the world is starting off relatively firm today. Stock indices in the States are kind of plus. I think gold is down again. Let's see, where's it at? Let's just check it real quick. Yep, down again. So obviously the world is in a much better place than it was on Friday. In other words, they're not panicked and they're not pushing it up or down. I mean, they're not pushing the world up and down. I saw a headline in Barron's, the financial newspaper comes out on weekends. It said, market is scared that they will take the stocks up. Now, you got a half a percentage point increase coming, we believe, Wednesday. And so it'll go from a quarter. I guess the Fed will be from a quarter to 3/4 of a percentage point. But we've talked about that here. You know, we talk about it all the time at this point, and that is that the bonds have already taken care of it. They've already moved up. The 30-year bond is basically trading around the 3% area, and the 10-year bond is trading around it's only 10 points off of it or something like that. It's tightened. It's at like 2.8 something, 2.9. So overall, hello, Robin. Am I coming in loud and clear? I'll take a sip of my tea while I say that. And so, overall, the European markets were kind of mixed when it comes to the equity markets. I noticed they were kind of vacillating back and forth, a little bit tight. A couple were up, a couple were down. Robin sent an interesting article over. We'll have to see how that plays out, too. At the same time, about Mr. Putin. We'll see if it all plays out pretty clear, but I would think that that would be a very positive for Ukraine, whatever's going on there. So there you have. Let's get it back up there again. There is the yen, not the yen. I want to say the yen. We have a client, an old client, looking at the yen now. So it's in the back of my little mind. But you can see right there, the Swiss is pushing up, trying to chase after Thursday's highs right there. That was Thursday. And so there's a lot of strength in there. You can see the green line is hanging around the time manifold on the plus side. The histogram is, to a great extent, has been a plus. Today it's minus a little bit. The weekly looks very firm. It's like a little moonshot-ish thing taking off. You see it over here on J4X. Same situation. It's the green line is above the dashed line. And you see all the green for 4 days now on the Hinky-Ashki bars, and the volume is dying down. That volume probably is telling us not to be too panicked. Hey, Jordan. Let's see. George. Oh, 47 if you're out there. It was $4,400, not $9,400 on that option strategy for the gold. I was driving in the car after I talked to you, and I realized, why did I say 90? 9,400. So, but anyway, that's what that's supposed to be, 47 if you're out there anywhere. That option spread I suggested to look at, that could be a very simple 6-month play if it goes up. And obviously, as this drops down, the spread probably is trading in the 5s now, 500 and change. Before you know it, it'll be trading at the 400s with the way things are going. So, it's an opportunity, that's for sure. What else can we say about any of that? And you know what? If you, instead of starting off at $1,950, what's the product now trading at? Gold. Let me just go back to gold again, just because of that spread we talked about on Friday. The June gold contract is trading at $1,868. So you could actually, possibly do the two. If you're thinking that in 6 months from now, the product could be at 2,000. You might be able to buy that for like about $350, and then even if it was at 400, that would be a $4,600 win to a $400 investment. So if it all comes out, if it runs back up again. That's the big question. Also, something that's in the news is Pelosi and a Democrat congressional delegation went to the Ukraine over the weekend. They were in Ukraine. All the classic players that don't know how to tell the truth, so that's kind of fascinating in its own right. But with Pelosi there and all the others, I don't know. They're talking about kicking it up. I guess they see an opportunity to make some do-re-mi in their own pockets before they get knocked out of power. So it's kind of interesting. The reaction here in the States is a little confusing to me. I can't figure exactly what they're trying to tell us, but it was definitely a significant visit in the sense of she has a control. People don't realize that the Speaker of the House really has a control over the checkbook. In other words, spend money. They have it all. They have all the power. And so, if they say that they want to give money to do something, they're going to give money to do something. And there's $33 billion now being sent over, and now there's talk of $100 billion. Boy, they could steal a lot of money from that. That's for sure. Not the Ukrainians as much, but because they're fighting for their lives. But without a doubt, the Democrats will find a way to get it in their pocket. We've seen Joe Biden do that. That's what the laptop's all about. But anyway, forget about that. The markets are kind of quiet. Dow Jones Industrial Average now is only up $1, where it was up $150 at one point. We'll see. All right. So anyway, the dollar is firm again, king dollar. And the reason why they took a little profit is that when you buy something and it goes up in value, you should take some profit. I think I mentioned that last week. And it's important to pay attention to that stuff. But we're not seeing any weakness out of it. So, at this point in time, it's just... what is that? That's a monthly chart we have up there on J4X. Let's get the daily up. There it is right there. You can see the way that Swiss is zooming along, and it's parked way up. Now, that monthly chart shows how it's been in a buy for a couple of months, and it doesn't want to let go. And that's interesting, that it's been pushing that strong that long. But that's the way it is right now. For some reason... be it the increase in interest rates or the lack of growth throughout the world. Now our GDP came in at 1.4. Does make me interested to see what they do to these markets overall. With the gross domestic product dropping down here in the States, you wonder how much pressure is that going to put on the dollar over time. But again, if nobody else is making money, then obviously... if you're trying to move large blocks of equity, the dollar is the key tool to use it. You normally to do it through. So, all right. From there, let's get the currencies back up on the screen on Chicago Quant too at the same time. Right there, we can see the euro. The euro, it's bouncing back down a little bit. It's still in the sell. Where's that red line? Let's put the red line back in there again. Right there, it went into the sell there. It's been in a weekly sell. Let's just show it to you. It's been in a weekly sell for a while. Way back up in here in the 115 area. Now we're trading in the 105 area. So it's dropped a good 10 handles since we've gone into that weekly sell back in early February, before the war even started. And when we look at it on on the J4X right there, there it is right there. You can see all that weakness. Every time it tries to pop up, we have lots of red here warning you not to play it. Now this little bounce here is okay because that's bouncing up and you got green here. But then it rolls over again. And down she goes. Where she stops, only the euro knows. And that's the action we're seeing there in the euro. And it's, I guess, we talked about it on Friday about the $21 trillion economy of Europe. When doesn't that seem so disingenuous that when you take a look at Europe overall, it's a $21 trillion economy, but somehow or another, and they have a floating currency, and that currency, the euro, trades, 20-25% of the world market is the euro. In the dollar index, it represents 50% of the index. So when people go, how's the dollar index look? Well, 50% of it is the euro. Something like I think it's 12% is the yen, or is it 15% is the yen? 12% is the British pound. So there's 75% right there. And then the other 25% is Canadian, Swiss, and the kroner, but not the Chinese yuan. So we saw last week where someone tried to create a new benchmark, and they put the yuan in there, and they took out something like 4 or 5% of the yen. No, not the yen. The 4 or 5% of the euro, and moved it down from 66.5% down to like 61%. I think it was like 5.5% they took out. But they only put the yuan in there at 3 or 2.7%. So the kroner is still higher, and they have like 7 products in there now, and the yuan is the Chinese yuan is in there now, and it's it's just a little bit underneath the kroner. So can we say that China's economy is about equal to Sweden? Is that what they're trying to tell us? I don't know how to. I mean, we don't have a real clean media that will talk about these things. It seems like Doc is one of the only persons talking about it. I mean, I'm not wrong. We posted it last week. It's in one of those webinars where they created this new basket of currency, and it's 7 currencies instead of 6. And the Chinese yuan was 2.7% of it. How come, if China is the second largest economy in the world, why is it not you get rid of the euro, put the yuan in there, and then you find somewhere else for the euro? I mean, I'm just asking some logical questions. If anybody has an opinion, I'll take it. I'd love to hear it. But as far as I can tell, the Chinese economy is not really the Chinese economy, and that's why I call it an American colony. And all the pretending that goes on is just pretending. I mean, that's the only way I see it. Because if it was real, right, wouldn't they knock out the euro? I mean, if it's the second largest economy in the world, why isn't the euro knocked out and they just put the Chinese yuan in the index? Let it be 40-50% of it. I mean, that's just a question more than anything else. Or it's a statement and a question at the same time. I'm not a big fan of those, but it does confuse me why we don't see that. Does that make any sense to anybody? I just, would love to hear your opinions out there. So it seems to make China, because they won't do that, more like a colony of the United States than it is a competitor. It's like an unfriendly colony. I'll take a sip of my tea and just wait for anybody to throw anything out there. I'm curious. Am I alone? Am I in the nursing home? And this is all fantasy in my head, maybe? I don't know. Sometimes I wonder that. All right. From there, let's go over to the British pound. Just a question, just a thought. I got a little green there this morning. You can see that in the daily. You see the green line moving up, so that's kind of positive. Let's see what it looks like on the Chicago quant side of things. Right there. Now, they tried to get into the plus there on Friday. You see that there. And it was minus 0.0000, so 4 zeros on the minus side of the point. So 5 zeros overall. 5. So it was just a minus hair by its chinny chin. Now, this morning, when we sent our thing out, I'll show you what we sent out, because at that point in time, the cable was looking relatively firm. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. That's what we sent out this morning. It was trying to jump up. I thought it had a green line there. Well, I thought we put a green line on this side of it. Can we do that? Right here. I thought I had a green line in there because, look, it's through the 0 line this morning. But obviously, we had a red and a green, so looking for tomorrow. But you can see the weekly so weak there. Now let's get rid of that. That's what we sent out a couple hours ago. Now it's kind of rolled over, now at the lows of the day. Breaking, where's that at? That is now at, oh, look at that. So now it's 0.00001. Let's see, where was it this morning when we sent it out? It was much higher. It was at 0.00, just 2 zeros, 14. So that's pretty cool. It was cranking up. They were starting to buy it, but obviously they've given up on that idea. Oh, here we go. It's in some language. I'm not sure what. It looks like Mipotoreski, but let's see if I can get it translated. I'd like to see what you said. No. Let's take a hold of that, and I'm going to try to translate it. I'm going to see what they said. Copy, translate. Translate. And then let's see what that says. Let's see right there. Okay, here we go. Where can I plug it in? Let's see. They want me to pick one. Let's try Russian. It looked like Russian. Not there. Obviously, I must have gone into a pay one. Let me see if we can find a non-pay translate. I thought there was a Google Translate out there. Google Translate, because I am curious to see what they said. Google Translate. There we are. Paste. Can you translate or subtitle the translations of the broadcast, please? Oh, very interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's... I don't know how to do that, but I will try. We will look into it. Let's see if I can translate that back. Let's see. Let's translate that back. Let's see. Let's see if this does it. There we are. Cool. All right. So I guess nobody has an opinion about the currency baskets and why that does what it does. Just a thought. It has my curiosity. I can tell you that much. It does have my curiosity. All right. From there, we'll go to the Turkish Lira. Saw bad press last week about what Turkey is doing. I disagree with it. For a change, it seems to be functional. You can see here, we're getting ready to move that box over again, like so. And it just hangs out here. Just rides it. You see that there? That's $1. And then let's take a look at the Euro Turkish Lira over here on J4X. That's our favorite one to watch. I always like to say location, location, location. A little strength here this morning. You see that being picked up. You see the volume dropping. Let's put up on Chicago Quant. Let's see, right there. There we are. And you can see, okay, so it went into the sell here. You see that, and now it's flirting with the buy. But we haven't gotten down to that green line that we thought we might. It's in that weekly sell still. There's pressure on this. So we'll see if this is just a simple little dead cat bounce. And that might be part of the process right there alone. Let's see. What else can we say about these charts? I like how the volume is dropping. It did turn up last time when it dropped like that. Same thing here, I guess you could say. Took a while for it to do it there, and then it turned up. We'll see when the volume turns up if it turns up too. I think it's more of a dead cat bounce myself. I think the Turkish lira will probably, keep on going sideways to down, because I really do think that they've come up with a good policy. I know that Bloomberg, and it's not the first time Bloomberg has been on the opposite side of me. Pretty much most of the time Bloomberg is on the opposite side of me. I think Bloomberg is very, very poor service. The only good thing about it has a great, I can't tell you how great it is, but it is fantastic. I respect it. And that is, they have a great platform for bond trading. They have one of the best. They have the best. I think Thomson Reuters was the second best. But Bloomberg has a really good trading platform for bonds. So that's the only thing it's good for as far as I'm concerned. After that, I don't pay attention. I'm sipping my tea. I don't pay attention to Bloomberg, because most of the time Bloomberg is wrong. If they said the sky is blue, more than likely it's night. If they say that something's going up in value, more than likely it has already gone up in value, and they're selling it down. Really, that's the way Bloomberg is. But they have a fantastic bond trading platform where you can get the best quotes out of anywhere, second to none. It's better than Thomson Reuters, as I said before. All right, so here you see the Turkish lira, just making that little bounce there. Now from there, we'll jump over to the Canadian dollar. Right there. And let's go over to here. There's a CAD there. CAD going after the highs of the range. This is what we think that the Turkish lira is going to do. It's going to go down, touch the green line, and then turn back up. That's how I think it's going to go. And this is probably like something like that, or maybe even something as exciting as this, where they think, only difference is that it's bouncing off of the 0.618, not the 0.50. And you can see here Canadian's moving back up. It's been in the daily buy since right here. So it's been in the buy right there, and it's been climbing up. And then we're in a weekly buy from there. And then the same thing, you can see there's 7 green bars, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see volume was rising. Now that it's dropping, it's still lifting here. Interesting. And we're just a little bit underneath. It's kind of trying to push into sell, but you can't because it's green hinky askies. All right. And from there, what we do is normally we go look at oil and we look at gold. So let's check out the oil this morning. We're going to leave the Canadian up on J4X so we can see the difference between the two. And there's oil, and you can see oil is moving down this morning. Off, what is that? It closed at 0469. It's trading at basically 169 basically. So it's down $4 this morning. You see the pressure there. It's pushing into the daily sell. Weekly is rocketing up. It's giving us some wild spike there on the weekly. So we'll see how they play with that over the next couple of days. Let's see, Jordan says, would you like to look at a 5-minute chart on yen? Most definitely. I'm willing to look at anything. I don't care what you pick out. I'm willing to look at it. That's my nature. And we'll come back to this in a few seconds. Let's see, where do I go for there? Yen. All right, so let's go to there. And a 5-minute yen. All right. There it is. We have a 15 minutes, so we can do that very easily. And there's a 5-minute yen, and we're going to put it up on J4X too. Right there. see how it loads up there. And what do we have going on here? Let's double check the indicators here. So that one should be dotted like so, or dashed. And the rest of them are doing good. Okay, so now let's go back to that. And you can see the strength in it. It went into the buy right here, especially with the blue and the green jumping through there on a short-term basis. That was a nice push. And it's still in the buy from that. You can see same thing going on here. Only difference is that you had all this red going on minus that little green there. And then it jumped into the green there. So it became safe to get long into a 5-minute there. So in the same areas we turned up. I think we turned up in the high 70s. This thing did the same thing basically in the high 80s. But it's doing the same ride. You see it was a good sell there too on the 5-minute on the J4X. So that is that. How's that look? You have an opinion on that at all, Jordan? Yeah, we got somebody in-house that, or one of our clients is looking at the yen now. Once in a while, we have one client that was looking at Aussie yen. And that's about it. No one seems to pay attention to the yen, which is kind of surprising to me. Going for a sip of tea, waiting to see if Jordan says anything. Interesting. Very interesting. All right, so that's the 5-minute. Right there. Wow. I try to do it there too. You can see it. When the green and the blue get through the zero line with the histogram, you get a nice pop. And this one went up 10. But this one has gone up over 30. What's the high there? 130.15, almost 16. From a buy of what was that? 129. 83. Okay. I'm a little curious about that. Something seems a little odd. Let me just give it a refresh. There's the low of 29.77. What is that? 71. I'm sure why they're delayed a little bit like that. But that is where it is. You can see it there. They seem to be trading the same price. They're both at 12. So the spot is reading each other very well. A little pressure coming in here. See that right now. Let's see what happens over in Chicago. We're starting to turn down too. Green line's turning down. Any other opinion, Jordan? I'll have a second sip of my tea just to see, give you a chance to say something. If not, then we will jump from there. Do you need anything else, like a 15-minute or something like that, or you all good? You see, the J4X is telling us that they're trying to back off. But with that green hinky-ashky, it's holding it up. And just like right here, Chicago Kwan is trying to go negative. Doing the same thing. They're both identical at this point. I'm curious because I don't normally look at the J4X on a 5-minute basis. So that's interesting. All right. Maybe we'll come back and look at that. We won't remove that chart. We'll just keep it. Let's see. From there, we go back to Canadian, and then what happens is that the Canadian. Let's see what's going on with Canadian. Let's go to do this instead. So, looking at Canadian as it's moving up, we see gold moving down, which is normal. So, and at the same time, looking at I'm sorry, oil moving down and gold moving down. They're both moving down. So there's pressure on them. So obviously when we go over to the South African Rand, let's go find the South African Rand. Right there. It's finding a way to go back up again. The pressure's on it. And that's really what's going on there, is that the pressure is back on. It's trying to get back up to Friday's close. A little surprised it's not. That's all right. It is heading back up, and that's the answer to the whole thing to begin with. Let's just check out the 5-minute chart again, because it just changed. Let's see. Beijing now is locked down. What are they doing? They're just freezing their whole country out. And Singapore, or was it Shanghai is locked down now? Now Beijing is locked down. Boy, they really torture those people. And you can see right there in that 5-minute chart, the pressure is on. It's hitting the time manifold on Chicago. That's interesting to see. And let's see, what else can we say about any of these? It's still trying to break down over on J4X, so that's pretty interesting. If we get we got about 2 minutes, and we'll see what the chart looks like in 2 minutes. So we'll go off to now the currency that will not be named right there. It keeps on fluctuating back and forth, and right now it's moving down. Robin sent over a story that says that it should be moving down, but we'll see how that story plays out. I don't want to say anything about it until I see it more confirmed. From there, we'll go over to the yen, which we just looked at, and we have on a 5-minute chart. You see the yen is holding up very firm, a couple days in a buy, but not going anywhere. Weekly buy is very firm right there. And we're going to leave that 5-minute chart up and wait for it to kick out in 30-40 seconds on J4X. Then from there, the last one we look at is Mexican peso right there. And you see the Mexican peso went up and hit that. Oop, don't mean to move that. Right there. Went up and hit the 50 percentile on the way up and has backed off a little bit. So it's feeling a little pressure there. And we're going to see J4X make a change in about, 20 some odd seconds. We'll see if we get a red bar out of that. And then we'll slide, as we're speaking about that, let's put it back up again on Chicago Quant. Right there. 5-minute, just like on J4X. Still trying to break down. Hitting the top manifold. Oh, we got a red dot now. And look at that. We got a red hinky ASCII. So now it's saying, okay, try to trade it on the downside in the 5-minute chart. So was that 130.10? No, what, 130.05. Let's see if it drops down to like 129 and change. You see that pressure on it. It's kind of interesting. We rarely do this. I don't remember doing this, where we look at a 5-minute chart on Chicago Quant and a 5-minute chart on J4X together at the same time. We look at it in different ways at different times, but I don't think I've ever done this before. So this has me totally fascinated. Totally fascinated. There's one at 130.01. Interesting. We'll see if it did it really go down to 29? I mean, then 79. See what that says. That's a hinky ASCII, so it's kind of an odd thing there. But we saw the 130.01, so it dropped four ticks. Can we go down to a 2-minute chart? Sure. Let's see what 2 minutes looks like. No, actually, I don't have a 2-minute. I have a 1-minute. There's 1 minute. I can get 2 minute on mine because I can control it, but let's see if I can put a 2 minute in there. Let's see. Add more. Minutes. There it is. There it is right there. Okay, so there's a... Let's see, now we can put a 2 minute in there. There's your 2 minute. And let's do it over here on Chicago. Just shows you how good the little formula that we have set up on J4X is. There we are. I'm going to take a sip of tea. See if Jordan says anything about that. Alrighty. So there's the 2 minutes trying to turn up now. Now it's at 07. So that was a nice little win. Just trading for a couple ticks, you know. Not bad. And you can see our 2 minute is down. Did it go in this? Was it at the 04 area? I guess it was, wasn't it? Let's see where it went into a sell. We got the red dots, but we didn't get a breakdown until like way down here. Matter of fact, that was pretty much most of it. So there was the... Not that. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, right there. But that was plus at the time, so you had to wait for that one too. So what's that? 05. Okay. Either way, they both seem to have a way of moving down in value, so that's a good thing. Especially if you're a short-term trader, you should consider looking at the J4X combination we have there with the fast stochastic against the slow and the hinky ASCII bars. Combine the two together. Now we're looking at volume underneath it. It's definitely a good tool, and this is a good example of it. The 2 minute charts. See how well it keeps up with the Chicago Quant. And if we go into I don't follow things through minutes. I do something different. I do a combination of expansion and contraction of space, basically. A time chart. I have a whole different way of looking at time. Now look at that pressure. It's kicking in again. Chicago Quant is trying to give us a green and a red. We've had a green now in the J4X, and now it's breaking down. We're still in the sell on the Chicago Quant. So it kind of puts you into a buy real quick and then pulled you out. Your 5 minute might be better, when you're using a public indicator like this. For our work, we're still in the sell. And so that is that. That's cool. What we'll do is we may label this as short-term intraday chart research for the day. We can look at it that way. All right. From there, if you have nothing else to ask, I'm going to zip over to... Where do we go from there? Oh, yeah. We go over to the energies now. Oh, no, we do the metals. That's what it is. So we do the metals, and you can see gold down there. Let's see. We're going to leave the 2 minute up for those that are fascinated by watching this. And then we go over to silver. Right there, silvers are at their low, also taking out this low way over. You can't even see that, but let's see. Way over here, we're taking out that low now. So silver's dropped. I really thought that last move up into above the 24.55, I really thought maybe this is the beginning of a new base higher, but nope, not even close. And I really thought it meant something too. I really did. Can we go down? Okay, that's yeah. I really thought that meant something, but obviously it doesn't mean anything, and that's really odd. I really thought maybe we were seeing something with the metals complex, with the war, and the Soviets or the Russians keep on saying stuff like we want to nuke you and so forth and so on. I thought for sure the metals complex could have some strength in it, but obviously not. It seems to be losing that. And you would think, just for interest, now look at copper. And copper's getting smacked also. I mean, it's taking out, I don't know, what's that, 6-month lows or something like that? No, I guess it's yeah. When's the last time it was in the 20s? Basically back in December, right? So we're basically flirting with December and November lows. So what is that? That's like 6 months ago, right? We're in May. So 4 months have passed, 5 months. So it's a 5-month low. We're going after 5-month lows in the product. And we've been in a weekly sell for, going on a third week now, and we're in a daily sell for just the 2 days. Let's see. But what did I want to look at? I wanted to look at something. I know what I wanted to look at. I wanted to look at Bitcoin. Here's the May contract. Bitcoin is picking up a little bit this morning. You can see how tight it is. It's been in the sell for a while. And let's see if we can do this. Anyway, that's a little bit better. It's just underneath it. You can see that there. It's still not lifting. It's got a red dot going on, and we're in a weekly sell now from up in the 4,000 area. But you would think that the metals complex could get some grip, Now we're having a problem here because we got this in a plus and this in a minus. So let's go back to Chicago Quant and see how she's acting again. So you can try to understand how to use the public indicators there. Let's see, where's it at? It's right there. Oop, not there. Click, click. Yeah, there it is. So we're still in a sell in our work from here. And it's not doing, it did go down to what, 129.9 something. That's what we thought it might. You can see the pressure still on it there. And you see the pressure here. We're using a fast and slow stochastic banging against each other. And then just like we do on J4X there. And you can see our work is pressing down nicely. And we'll see how that goes. So it's been in the sell since J4X was, but J4X has vacillated where we got a buy signal here and we got a sell signal here. So it's a little tough. But it's at least you understand the difference between what's going on. Now we're getting, you can see Chicago is trying to, in a 2-minute, try to turn into the plus, but we got a red dot. So let's see how that goes in, I guess we got 1 minute. And we'll see if this closes and generates a green dot and starts to lift. And you can see that the J4X has the green line trying to turn up. So it's warning us that there's strength in there. So this is how you read the J4X versus our work. Just a quick, but you can see how well it, it's like 65-70% accurate to each other, which is, I think, fantastic, really. When you compare to not having my work, it's got to be fantastic. And we'll see in 12 seconds. Let's see what happens here in 12 seconds. You can see it looks like it's trying to close into the buy here. And we've got, here it goes. There we go. So it's in a red dot, but it's plus. Now it's going minus again, and we got a volatility signal. So what are we going to do? Break this thing down? So you're still in a sell on our work. And you see we're 2 greens here. And this is above, so it's telling you to be long. So you got J4X now telling you to be long. Let's see where it goes in a minute and a half. And this is kind of like some mini lab on intraday trading with the both systems. We'll see how this plays out. and then we'll be able to give better advice on how to read the J4X. We've got 1 minute to go. A little sip of the tea. What else can we say about that? You can see it's really lifting up. So J4X is running ahead of us on this one. Let's see. Looks pretty good, actually. So J4X is going to be ahead on this one. Looks like in 30 seconds we'll know what the next signal is. But it's definitely lifting strong. And J4X picked up on it, made you long here, then whipsawed you, and now it's got you back into the long again. Let's see how that plays out. I think the 5 minute's a better one. I think that the 2 minute could be too sensitive. But let's see what Chicago Quant does in now. Change. There we are. Now it's in a buy. So let's see what it does here. It's in the buy now at, what is that? At 130.06. Oh, well, it hasn't closed yet. It hasn't closed yet. The bar has to close to get into a buy. So we won't know for another minute and a half. But you can't ask for much better than that. Live action. Live action. I just heard something. Let's see where that is. Let's see what message I just got. Oh, okay. All right. And we need this thing to close right here to get into a buy. We're still not in a buy in Chicago Quant. And in 30 seconds, we'll see. I find this fascinating. I hope I'm not boring anybody. If anybody wants to see something else, just shout it out. But we're just, Jordan has asked for this, and we're watching it. And we've done the metals complex, and then we'll go take a look at the energies after this. I just want to see how this plays out. Looks like it's going to go into a buy. Now we're in a buy. Tick. There you go. Now we're in a buy at the 130.06. And let's see how that plays out now. All right, from there, we'll leave it up on J4X. And what we'll do is we'll go over to the, not there, let's go there. We'll go to the energy sector now. And we saw what was it? We saw what oil's doing. It's trying to lift up a little bit. It's picked up $1 now from last we looked at it on the upside. And then let's take a look at natural gas. You can see natural gas trying to play with a downside move here. You can see this work here, but we got to, instead we're seeing a volatility thing go on right there with a red and a green. And let's just do a quick Brent, and then we'll come back to this. Let's see, where's Brent? You can see Brent right there, trading in the 104s. Now that's a 2-minute chart. Let's just show you a daily. And Brent is red like our work, trying to press down right there. And then let's jump over to natural gas and just see what natural gas looks like also on the daily. And then we'll go back to the 2-minute chart for Jordan. There's European natural gas. You see it's back down into the 28s, so they've been putting some pressure into that right there. See the line cutting through it. Now we're going to throw yen back in there. And we'll show you on Chicago Quant those two same things. Let's see, let's go back to yen. Dollar yen right there. And let's put the 2-minute back in there again. right there. And so there's the strength there still. Let's just show you what's going on here. Same thing. It's run all the way up now to when it went into the buy. It went to 111, almost 112. Ran up to 111.7. So it picked up 5 points on that buy signal of ours. And so you didn't get whipped long, short and long, and then short and then long. So we just went short and then finally long. So we only had 2 trades out of compared to J4X's 3. All right, now let's go over to Nat Gas. We'll see what American Nat Gas, there it is at. So then let's look at back month crude oil. Right there. You see, same thing as Brent. Pressure on, but our weekly is firm. Okay. Then we go back to the short term again. And we're looking at short term yen on both J4X and Chicago Quant. And so we're still in the buy. And you see right there, same thing. We're curving over a little bit right now in the J4X. Let's see what they do there. And we're seeing the same action here. Right there, you see it. See that weakness kicking in. So let's keep an eye on that. And it seemed like it was a nice little tool. I think the 5 minutes a better one versus the 2 minute. I think the 2 minutes a little too sensitive. And we'll go back and look at that too, just for to understand the action of it. Now you got the green line piercing on J4X, and what is that? In 20 seconds, it'll close this 2 minute bar. And Chicago's really pressing down hard. We got a shot at being minus in the next bar with a red dot. We'll see what that does. Yeah, see, now the bar is still plus, just with a red dot at the moment. That's what it is. And you can see, what's its name? J4X is giving us a sell signal now. But it needs to close. Remember, it needs to close like that to put it into the sell signal. It needs to close. Just a reminder. Whereas Chicago is still in the buy. You'll see how that plays out. So today, I think that's what we're going to talk about, is the difference between a 2 minute and a 5 minute on both J4X and Chicago Quant. It's an interesting thing. You know, I mean, I'm willing to, look at anything. I think it's fascinating myself. Let's see. What do we got? 1 more minute. Let's see what 1 more minute does. Let's see if we get pushed into a sell. And where are we? We are 35 seconds away. And we're only 20 seconds away now. Let's see what's going on there. Maybe it'll turn the J4X one up. And here it comes in 4 seconds. No, we're pushing now into the sell on Chicago Quant. See, it's both red dot and down at the same time. And J4X has confirmed the sell. We're still battling R&Rs. We're still on the long side. Mm. That's going to be the title. That's interesting. There we are. So we're still hanging in there. What do we got? We've got 1 more minute to get into the sell. And then from there, we'll see who goes into the sell first. We already know J4X is in the sell. So we'll see if this thing closes in 45 seconds here, then Chicago Quant is in the sell. And then we'll go from there to when we'll go look at a 5 minute, and we can jump back and forth to the 5 minute again. Talk about research, huh? And here we go. In 5 seconds. Looks like we're going to go into a sell. Yep, we're in a sell, and that's at 130.02. So let's see what the 5 minutes look like now. And J4X was in a sell. I think you could say that was like in the 105 area. So it's ahead of the curve there. Now let's just take a look at it in a 5 minute pace. There's 5. Let's put it up over here. There we are. Now, let's see. It went into the sell here and is still in the sell. Now it's trying to go into a buy, and what do we have? We have 1 minute to see if it'll go into the buy. So it went into the sell here, and it looks like it went into the sell here. It was definitely much more of a winner chicken dinner. And 40 seconds to go. Looks like we're going into the buy on the 5 minute. I think the 5 minute's a better product. And we'll see. Maybe this will close as a red and then turn into a green and start to push the buy signal too on the J4X. And the answer is in 5 seconds we will see it. Yep, that's what it's doing now. Now it needs to close in there. So you got 5 minutes to go before it confirms it. And we're in a buy on J4X already. So this has to close there because it's confirmed in a sell. Well, it's in a neutral really right now because it's a red and a green here on J4X. And then on Chicago, we're in a buy. Right there. All right, we can experiment with this again tomorrow. We are through the trading. U.S. opening market has opened. We're looking today. We ended up looking at 2 and 5 minute charts in some depth. In other words, we really analyzed them pretty heavily, and you can see that I think the 5 minutes a cleaner thing, but it's hard to say for J4X. For Chicago Quant, I don't follow things in minutes, but I can see that it's probably equal in some ways. Let's go back to the 2 minute real quick. See what they're doing with the 2 minute. So what is that? It wasn't a sell. Went into a sell on that 2 minute here. Went down a little bit. And now it's what it do, like 3 ticks. Went from 130.04 basically all the way down to 130.5, 6, 7. So just 2 ticks. Now it's closed with a volatility signal afterwards If this closes in 4 or 5 seconds, it will be a buy signal. Here. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Didn't happen. Now it has to do that. You have 2 minutes to go on this, on the Chicago Quant. Alrighties. Intraday trading. Something to look at. Someone asked and we did. And let's just take a look at it over here on J4X real quick, and then we'll cut out for the day. So it went into the buy too on that last signal on the 2 minute. No, it's in a buy. Okay, so the 2 minute went into the buy, and Chicago Quant is still waiting to go into a buy. That's what it comes down to. That's what it is. And that was a nice little pop. And here it comes again. We'll give it another minute or 40 seconds, and then we'll go from there. We'll cut out. So traders, this has been Doc from North America looking at some intraday work because someone asked. And let me think, what else can we say? I guess that's about it there, can't we? So we're going to say happy trails to all. Happy trails to you until we meet again. And that will be Tuesday. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders. Just been an interesting day. We looked at it all, and we'll see what goes on here in about, 20 seconds, 25 seconds. We'll see if it closes in a buy and joins in with the J4X, which it looks like it's going to do. And we'll see how they play from there. I myself kind of lean towards the 5 minute more on the J4X than this, but you know what? The 2 minute on the Chicago Quant, but the 2 minute on J4X may be worth exploring much more. You know, just the shorter term, the less time, the better when using this indicator. And here we go, and we do close in a daily buy. Not a daily buy, 2 minute buy. So it closes in a 2 minute buy. We'll see what they do from there. Let's see, they run to 115 or something like that. 114 and change, something like that. It's been an interesting move. All right, we're out of here. Ta-ta.